Okay, so my purpose in creating this video today is to hopefully answer some questions that I have. So I'm hoping to answer some questions for myself and answer some questions for other people who might have some questions. Primarily the question is how to maintain temperature in an electric smoker. I have the Smoking It's Model 3 smoker, and I've had nothing but good luck with it. But there is a challenge that I've always had, which is maintaining temperature on it, or getting a consistent temperature on it. You know, I know a lot of people probably have this same issue where you want to do, for example, a brisket. So you set it up and you set the temperature on the thermostat, but those numbers don't really mean anything, because you'll set the temperature and then you'll probably verify the temperature using something like a Mavericks to make sure the temperature is where you want it. The temperature swings on these electric smokers can be 20-30 degrees. So sometimes you'll spend an hour, or maybe half an hour, making sure the temperature is exactly where it is. You might need to make an adjustment, and then you will, keep an eye on the light. I have a little contraption I have jerry-rigged so that I can kind of see when the light's on or off from inside the house. And then temperature goes up, it goes past where you set it to, then it goes below where you set it to, and hopefully you average out in the sweet spot where you want. So the answer to this problem, hopefully, is this Auber PID. I just ordered one. I haven't used it. This video isn't so much an unboxing video. My purpose isn't to show you how to use this. My purpose is to see if the darn thing works or not. They advertise that you can keep the temperature in your smoker within 1 degree. That would be awesome if that works. Personally, I'll be happy if it keeps it within 5 degrees. So what I'm planning on doing is setting this up. I'll show you what it looks like. When you get it, you get a couple of probes. This one goes into the food. This one goes into the smoker, much like you would do on the Mavericks setup, which you're probably mostly all familiar with. So this goes in the smoker to monitor the temperature in the smoker. As you can see, I haven't used this yet. And then this is the unit itself. This is the Auber model WSD 1500 GPH. This one is designed for smokers. I believe mine goes over 1800 watts. So I believe they make a smaller unit. If your smoker doesn't, I believe if you have a 1200 watt or below smoker, you probably don't need this unit. So this is what the unit looks like when it comes out of the box. There's a whole bunch of buttons. Again, I'm not looking to show you how to use this. I want to tell you if it works or not. So I will go through the effort of reading the instructions and setting it up, and then what I'm going to do is run it through the smoker. You might, if you have an electric smoker, you've probably also noticed that the thermostat varies depending on if you have food in it or if you don't have food in it. So I'm going to try using this both ways. I'm going to try and see if it maintains the temperature of an empty smoker. I'm going to verify that temperature using the Mavericks. And then later on, this is the day before Labor Day, I'm going to be smoking 5 racks of ribs. In there, I'm also going to use this, and then I'm also going to have the Mavericks in there verifying what the Auber unit is saying. So hopefully after this we'll be able to verify that yes, this does in fact maintain temperature. I must give a shout out to another gentleman on YouTube. His name is Ed Pitts. He's done some of these Auber videos, but his videos are more how to use the unit, but he doesn't really show if it in fact works, or if it in fact maintains temperature. So my purpose will be to say yes, this is a good deal, buy it, it works, or nah, maybe it doesn't. So hopefully we'll find out by the end of the day today. Okay, even though I said this wasn't going to be a how-to video, I'm going to go ahead and set things up. I've put 2 probes into the empty smoker right now. The one that looks pretty well worn is the Mavericks probe, and the shiny new one is the Auber probe. One thing I will tell you, which I didn't think about or realize, is just how short the Auber cord is. Something has always told me not to use an extension cord, but it's almost impossible to not use an extension cord with the Auber, since the cord is about 2 foot long. So let's see if we can set this up. My plan is to set this up for 200 degrees and then monitor the temperature with the Mavericks. Right now it's 93 degrees in there. We'll turn the power on. The instructions were kind of a little complex, so we'll see exactly what what's involved in setting this up. Well, it looks pretty straightforward. So I'm going to set this to 200 degrees. And I'm going to set the time. Set the time to 2 hours, even though I'm not really going to do 2 hours. So I think we're set. I hope we're set. And we'll see what's what. And we'll turn the smoker on. Alright, I want to take a break here and see how to get things started. So there has been a significant change in plans. So I've spent like over an hour trying to figure out why I couldn't get the Auber to start. Turns out the probe, the cabinet probe that was sent does not work. So I kept getting this W. So I figured it out eventually by plugging in the meat probe, and that instantly pulled up a temperature. So unfortunately, this is a real world test. I have to make these ribs, and I don't have time to call Auber and get them to send me a new probe. So I'm going to try to do this using the meat probe as the probe for the cabinet. I'm not sure how well this is going to work out, but I figured it can't work worse than my old technique of just monitoring and adjusting. So here goes. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it maintains a temperature. My guess is, even if the temperature isn't accurate, if it maintains that temperature, I will be able to calibrate using my Mavericks probe, which is in there. So you kind of see how I have it kind of mounted, kind of crisscross on top of each other. So here goes. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you at the end of the day. Just another quick FYI, I changed the temperature to 225. I was going to go 200. I have decided to go to 225. So we'll see what happens. They seem to be keeping in sync so far. We'll see what happens when we hit 200. Okay, this is really cool. I don't know if you can notice this or not, but in the upper right corner, see that light that's going on and off? When it's on, the power to the smoker, I don't know if you can, you probably can't see the red light, but it's turning the power on and off, and I think it's trying to bring the temperature. Right now we're at 215. It's trying to bring us gradually, I'm guessing, to 225 without overshooting it. So it's kind of feathering the power till it gets to 225. That's what I guess is happening. Don't quote me. The temperatures are really close. The Mavericks is at 210. This is at 216. So I'm guessing when it gets to 225, it will keep the temperature there now. It just switched to 218. I know it's hard to see in this light, but trust me, actually that does say 216. But we're getting there. Okay, so here we are. It's been a bit over 2 hours. I've actually taken the ribs out, foiled them, and put them back in. And my conclusion is this thing works exactly as advertised. When I started out, there was some fluctuation, but it seems like as if after an hour or so had passed, it has pretty much stayed pretty solid. I've seen it go up to 227, and then it comes down a little bit, but it has pretty much stayed on right where it's supposed to stay. So I'm impressed with it. The Mavericks is duplicating that number. That also, I guess, says the meat probe is accurate for measuring the temperature in the chamber, even though I'm still going to wait for the actual probe. So hope you found this helpful. Again, this isn't necessarily a how-to. There's all kinds of things you can do with this in terms of programming it. I just wanted to know if it maintained the temperature, and it does. So I'm keeping it.